At the very beginning of the story, we see a passenger plane flying over the sky. Our main character Jack is sitting inside the plane. He was making his own drink very calmly. Everything around him was very normal. All the passengers were sitting in their own seats. And no one could understand that after a few seconds, their life changed completely. Suddenly, the plane starts shaking violently. There is a lot of wind outside. And the whole plane keeps shaking. The shaking was so terrible that those who did not have seat belts on, they jumped out of the seats. At the same time, the oxygen masks on the top came down one by one. Terror spreads inside. Everyone understands that they are in a terrible situation. But the real problem was still there. Suddenly, there was a huge explosion in the middle of the plane. The explosion was so terrible that the back of the plane broke apart in the middle of the sky. Some passengers fell from 1,000 feet above. The plane lost all control in the middle of the moment. And it was called a deserted island. The people inside were screaming to save their lives. But no one could do anything. After a while, the plane fell into a deep ravine. Suddenly, all four of them got up. And there was a terrible explosion. When Jack came to his senses, he found himself in a deep jungle. He got scared and quickly came out. He did not have time to understand. He was stuck in a deserted island. Just then, a terrible roar came from the jungle. Jack did not delay and ran towards everyone. When he went there, he saw that all four of them had turned into ashes. Some people were lying on the ground. Some were screaming for help. Some lost the strength to scream again. Jack was the only doctor on the plane. He forgot his own fear and started saving people. Suddenly, he heard a terrible sound. He looked up and saw a huge broken wing of the plane, which could fall on a pregnant woman stuck under it at any time. Jack ran towards her. He took the woman out of there quickly. And right after that, the wing fell on the ground. A terrible explosion occurred. Jack did not think about his own health, and continued to help the injured people. But a few moments before the explosion, many injured people died in the process. The scene around the plane was so scary that the eyes of the people who were lying on the ground could only see the terror. A few moments later, Jack went into the jungle alone and tried to repair his own wound. But the wound was in such a place in his hand that he could not reach it himself. Just then, a girl came there. Jack wanted help, and the girl agreed to repair the wound. But she was surprised to see that Jack was suffering from the pain of the wound, except for some medical treatment. This is where they met. The girl's name is Kat. After the night, Jack noticed the part behind the broken plane and guessed that the cockpit may still be in good condition. If they get a signal transmitter from there, it will be possible to communicate with the rescue team. Hearing this, Kat remembered something. She knew that she saw smoke rising towards the sky during the day. It was probably the place where the cockpit fell. Kat immediately took Jack with her and told him to go there. Hearing this, Jack's mind was full of hope for the first time. But just then, a terrible noise was heard from the jungle far away. Everyone rushed to that direction. Then they could see that the trees in the distance were breaking one by one. Hearing this, it was understood that a huge, ferocious animal was coming towards them from the jungle. If luck was on their side, the ferocious animal would not have come in front of them. A few moments later, the surroundings calmed down again. But the roar of that night scared everyone. In the morning, everyone sat together and started talking about the creature of the previous night. Some said it might be a dinosaur, and some thought it might be a huge predator. Actually, no one was sure. But everyone's fear was clearly visible. Jack himself was very scared inside. But he knew that if he had to survive, he would have to reach the cockpit somehow. Because there might be some device through which the news of help would be sent outside. So he took Charlie and Kat with him and entered the dangerous jungle. But after going a little further, suddenly it started raining heavily from the sky. The four sides got foggy and it became even more difficult to find the cockpit. The people hiding next to the plane's canopy could also understand that at that moment, the creature woke up again. But Jack, Kat, and Charlie knew nothing about this problem. After looking around for a long time, they finally saw the front part of the plane. When they entered, they saw a terrible scene. All the people sitting in the first class were killed. There were only corpses and ashes all around. Jack slowly moved towards the cockpit and tried to break the door lock with a piece of iron. But as soon as he opened the door, a corpse suddenly fell out of the cockpit. Everyone got scared and hid behind. After a while, when the environment calmed down a bit, Jack hid inside the cockpit and started looking for the signal device. Just then, the pilot suddenly woke up. Seeing Jack well, he could understand that the pilot was still alive. But he was able to speak. Then the pilot found out the real reason for the plane crash. The pilot said that when their plane entered this mysterious ocean, all the signals were lost. He wanted to take a look at the plane, but just then, a strange wind took hold of the entire plane. Within a few seconds, the plane began to break into the sky. After that, he could not remember anything else. According to the pilot's assumption, they are now flying from the main hangar to another unknown place thousands of kilometers away. Just then, he remembered that there is a backup wireless system inside the plane. But after searching for it, he could understand that the signal device had been destroyed earlier. Hearing this, Jack and Kat's last hope was slowly breaking. Now there was no other way, but just then, a terrible sound was heard from the outside. At the same time, the entire plane began to shake violently. Everyone turned towards the window. They could see a huge shadow outside. The sound of his foot was scraping the entire plane. The pilot went to the window to see what was outside, but the terrible thing dragged him out. The cat got scared and screamed. Before Jack could do anything, that mysterious creature killed the pilot. After the death of the pilot, the fear intensified. The plane began to shake again and fell down from the tree. 3 people fell down. Jack did not waste time and took the damaged signal device and ran towards the forest. Garjan, who came from behind, increased their fear even more. But fortunately, that creature did not follow them. So they lost some of their equipment and quickly returned to the camp. But as soon as they reached the camp, they saw 2 people fighting fiercely among themselves. Jack and Michael tried to separate the 2 in the middle. As soon as they asked, they found out that the entire plane was in the hands of Carly. The rest of the people who were sitting on the plane were killed. Only Carly was left. Hearing this, Carly got angry. In the meantime, the environment began to shake again. But just then, the cat grabbed everyone tightly. Then he told everyone that they got the signal device, but the problem was that the device was in a completely damaged state. If they want help from here, they will have to fix it first. Hearing this, everyone started running to the other side. Because no one there knew how to fix such a machine. Just then, Carly came forward and said that he could fix it. But as before, James attacked him again. Now Jack could not stand up to himself. He told James to keep quiet. There was such a rage in Jack's eyes that James did not say anything and went silent. Then the situation calmed down and a good news came to light. Actually, Carly had previously worked as a communication officer and the signal device was from a military plane. So it was not difficult for him to fix it. Carly started working and within a few moments, the device started working again. But the new problem was that the battery of the device was very low. If they want to send a signal for help, they have to take the device to a high place. Then Carly pointed towards a huge stone mountain and the color of the cat's face changed. Because he had just returned from the face of death. Now again, he did not want to risk his life in this, but they had no other option. So, the cat took the other 4 people with him and put them in the dangerous jungle. On the way, James also followed them. He pushed the cat and went alone. Seeing this, the cat also got angry with him. But the cat did not know that this man would play the biggest role in their lives. After crossing the stone mountain, they reached the dense jungle. Even there, James did not stop. He kept blaming Carly for the plane crash. After all this, Carly's anger finally came out. As soon as she went to answer, she heard a strange voice from behind. The voice was so scary that everyone got scared. They took the terrorist and went towards the cave. Seeing this, everyone started running to save their lives. But the most unexpected thing was that James stood in his own place. He was not afraid at all. When the others went far away, James took out his gun and started shooting in the front. But the animal in front was not an ordinary animal. Even after so many bullets, it did not affect his body. Just then, luckily, one of James's bullets hit the weak spot of the animal. A terrible scream was heard. Everyone got scared and came back to that side. But as soon as everyone saw the animal, their heads turned. Because it was not a beast. It was a huge, terrifying polar bear. The most amazing thing was that the polar bear came from such a hot and dense forest. For a moment, everyone thought that maybe after the plane crash, their heads were not working properly. But the real shock came from somewhere else. Everyone was wondering how a passenger came to James with a gun. To ask questions, James knows that the gun was found in front of his body. To prove his words, he showed the police badge. Everyone's suspicions were reduced. Then they went back to the mountain. Just then, the device started giving a full signal. Seeing this, Carly tried to send a signal to Shahaj. But then she realized that someone was using the rescue channel from the front. That means there is someone else on this side who is sending Shahaj's signal. But no one knew how another person could stay in such a desolate place. When everyone was immersed in this question, a woman's voice could be heard from the device. They could guess that it was a French woman. At first, everyone thought that maybe it was a rescue team. Then again, hope came to their faces. They asked a French girl to talk to the device. But after a few seconds, everyone's smiles were gone. Because it was not a rescue team. It was an old recording of Shahaj. Right after this, the signal was cut off. Then Carly checked the frequency and found out another fact. According to her, this signal has been sent for 16 years. But in all these years, no one has replied to her. That means no one on earth could know this fact. Hearing this truth, everyone woke up. There were many questions in their minds. What was that mysterious creature on this side? Where did the polar bear come from? And why did their plane suddenly break in the sky? These strange events began to convince everyone. There must be some terrible mystery hidden on this side. After the incident, everyone returned to the camp. But they were afraid to lose the signal. That night, Michael's dog started barking loudly. Hearing the sound, everyone got scared. Jack took a flashlight and hid in the dark. But he couldn't see anything except the strange sound. James couldn't wait. He suddenly turned on the searchlight and everyone was shocked to see the inside. Because there were some big wild foxes hiding there. Everyone started running in fear. But instead of attacking, the foxes quickly ran into the forest. As soon as they left, everyone got some energy. But the next morning, this new problem came up. They could know that all the food sold on the plane was over. James was angry to hear this. The fat man was eating more than he could eat. The fight started between the two of them. Jack came in the middle and tried to calm them down. But this time, Jack realized that the fight was not enough. If the food was not prepared, the people would attack one another. At that moment, a knife came in front of James. Everyone ran after it. The fat man said that he could hunt wild foxes if he wanted. But James didn't like this idea. He thought it was impossible to hunt such a big wild fox with a small knife. but the fat man opened his suitcase and took out a lot of knives. James was shocked to see after a while, the fat man, cat, and Michael went into the forest to look for wild foxes. After a while, the fat man noticed something strange. He took his hand and pointed at the forest. Then he went to a big tree and saw a wild fox. After a while, they reached the place. Then the fat man told the cat to go with him and pointed at Michael from the side. But Michael didn't understand and screamed. Hearing his voice, the wild fox got scared and ran towards them. The fat man hid, but unfortunately, Michael got caught. But fortunately, the fox didn't attack him again. After a while, the cat asked everyone to go back to the camp. But the fat man didn't want to leave his hand. He asked the cat and Michael to go back, and he didn't want to be left alone. But after a while, the cat stopped. He didn't say anything and opened his pants. Seeing the cat doing this, Michael got confused. He couldn't understand what the cat was doing. But the cat got up and started checking the signal. Poor Michael sat down and watched. When the cat tied the device, he heard a loud noise from the forest. The noise was so loud that he got scared and dropped the device. From the top of the tree, he saw the ferocious fox which was roaming around the area. The fox was still hunting in the forest. He heard the sound of the wild fox from the hut. Hearing the same sound, the fox went towards the hut. But the sound of the fox suddenly changed in a terrible way. The nearby trees started shivering. A wild animal jumped out of the tree. Seeing this, the fox got scared. He got so scared that he forgot to run away. At that moment, the ferocious fox appeared in front of him. On the other side, the cat and Michael came back to the camp. The cat told Jack everything about the forest. The cat said that the ferocious animal might have been caught. Hearing this, Jack's face turned pale. At that moment, his eyes turned towards the hut. Jack thought that the ferocious animal might have come to the camp. To find out the truth, he ran towards the forest. But as soon as he entered, the ferocious animal came out of the deep forest. The ferocious animal had a wild sugar in his hand. His body was covered with fresh blood. Seeing this, everyone understood that he was the face of a terrible fight. But he came back safely. And now, there was a food arrangement. At night, everyone gathered in one place. They prayed for the people who died in the plane crash. At that moment, Michael asked the people if they really saw the ferocious animal. The people remained silent for a while. After that, they said that they didn't see anything. But Michael couldn't believe what he heard. Now, even if the food is ready, a new problem arises. The sweet water in the plane is running out very fast. They will be able to fill their stomachs. But they won't be able to survive, so the rescue team has to find out that they are still alive. That's why Carly goes to the mountain to find the radio signal. But as soon as the device starts working, someone comes from behind and wakes him up. The unexpected thing is that the attacker didn't kill him. He just broke the signal device and disappeared in the darkness. Now, seeing all the evidence, Carly's suspicions are getting stronger. There is someone in this world who doesn't want to interact with the outside world. But who is that person? That remains a mystery. To find out the truth, Carly doesn't want to look around the whole world. After a while, he was resting on the beach. Just then, he saw a thick steel wire. He kept pulling it out. But after a while, he realized that one of his head went straight into the sea. Carly got confused. Then he saw that his other head went into the jungle. Seeing this, he got hopeful again. He started following the cable inside the jungle. But as soon as he went a little further, he lost his way. He saw a thin steel wire lying on the beach. He realized that he was in danger. So, he was very careful. But as soon as he stepped on it, it clicked. He started screaming. A huge beam came out of the wire and hit Carly's body. Carly started shivering and screaming. For a while, he was in pain. Then he somehow pulled himself up and pulled the wire out with all his strength. But the pain was so intense that he became unconscious. It was getting dark. After a while, Carly's eyes slowly opened. But before he could scream for help, a mysterious man came there. The man cut the wire without saying anything. And at the next moment, Carly fell on the ground. His head was shaking. He could only see so much. A man was slowly coming towards him. Then he became unconscious again. The next morning, he looked at the sky. Suddenly, the sky turned black. He thought that there was going to be a terrible accident at the camp. So, he started running towards the camp. But before he reached there, a terrible incident started. A pregnant woman, Anna, suddenly woke up from her sleep. But she cut her stomach because her baby was about to be born. At that moment, she heard the cry of a baby from a distance. With fear and terror, she ran behind the words. As she was following the words, she reached the man. His eyes were black and he was talking like a foreteller. Even after seeing his terrifying face, Anna did not stop. She went ahead. After some time, she reached in front of a baby cart. The baby's cry was coming from to know the truth. Anna bravely took off the cloth. But inside, there was only a piece of meat instead of the baby. Anna woke up after seeing this terrible scene. Hearing her cry, Charlie came out of the cart. But at that moment, Anna lost her mental balance. She kept attacking people around her. Charlie somehow calmed her down. At first, everyone thought that Anna had seen a terrible nightmare. But when they looked at her hand, they could see real blood. In this, a new fear spread in the morning. Jack could understand Anna's hand by testing it. After getting scared, he squeezed his hand so hard that the nail went inside the palm of his hand. That's why blood came out of his hand. After knowing this, everyone got some relief. But that same night, when Anna was roaming, suddenly she was attacked again. She thought someone was stabbing her in the stomach. Hearing her scream, everyone came running. But no one was found there. Anna, who was shivering in fear, knew that someone had attacked her stomach a while ago. Jack tested her stomach by removing her clothes. But there was no sign of pain there. Jack thought that Anna was making a terrible mistake, so he didn't give much importance to it and told her to take medicine and rest. But Anna was very angry. She thought Jack didn't believe her at all. Unable to face this insult and fear, he took his own things and left the camp and went into the jungle. Charlie couldn't accept this. So he followed Anna to understand her and come back. But after a while, Anna's stomach started to hurt. Seeing this, Charlie got scared and ran towards the camp to see Jack. But in the middle, he was seen with Jim. Charlie didn't delay and told Jim to tell Jack about Anna's condition. But he couldn't understand it at all. This thought will bring a terrible disaster for everyone. Anna's pain started to reduce. Then Charlie and Anna started to go back to the camp. But right then, Jim was seen on the way. The most amazing thing was that he didn't bring Jack with him. He was not alone. At the same time, Carly came back to the camp. She told Jack that there was someone else here. Before Jack realized it, the fat man came running here. He was scared and saw another person in the plane accident. He was hiding from everyone for so long. His name was Jim. Hearing this, Jack's face changed. He realized that something terrible was about to happen. So he took the fat man with him and went out to look for Anna and Charlie. But it was too late. There they could only see the sign of the fight. Anna and Charlie were the only survivors. Then the fat man came back to the camp and told him that something terrible was about to happen. But Jack was terrified. He thought that if he didn't doubt Anna's words, she wouldn't have met with this accident. Jack ran into the forest and was looking for them like crazy. But after a while, Jack realized that he was coming back to the same place again and again. It seemed that the whole forest had turned into a strange maze. After a while, the fat man reached Jack with the rest of the people. Then the search began again. They found a piece of Charlie's clothes on the way. It was clear that they were going in the right direction. But at that moment, they saw two separate paths. So they didn't think that everyone would go separately. The fat man went one way and Jack took the cat with him and went the other way. But the accident didn't end there. It started raining heavily. It was getting more and more difficult. After a while, Jack saw another piece of Charlie's clothes in the forest. It seemed that they had come very close to each other. But at that moment, Jack heard their screams. He started climbing the steep hill behind everyone. The cat was also following him. But Jack's hand got wet in the rain. At the next moment, he fell off the steep hill. Somehow, when Jack tried to stand up, he saw Jim standing in front of him. Jim didn't say anything and kicked Jack hard. Then he warned the cat. If Jack didn't stop, he would kill Charlie. But Jack didn't stop scaring him. He threw him far away. Then he got angry and started attacking Jim. But Jim easily got away. And the cat started attacking him. In a few moments, Jack fell to the ground. But Jack didn't give up. He tried to attack again. But now his hand got wet. At that moment, Jim attacked him and kicked him hard. A few minutes later, the cat found Jack again. But as soon as the cat came back, the cat got wet again. Now it is almost impossible to find Anna and Charlie. But Jack didn't listen to him. He went ahead alone. The cat followed him. After wandering in the jungle for a long time, they suddenly saw a huge tree. Charlie was swinging in the tree. When he saw the tree, he got up and ran towards Charlie. He didn't delay and didn't hit him. But it was too late. Charlie was dead. Jack tried to save him. The cat saw the tree and broke it. But Jack didn't give up. He kept hitting Charlie's body. He didn't want to lose his life. Even after a lot of effort, when there was no result, Jack hit Charlie's belly hard for the last time. And at that moment, Charlie's mother-in-law came back. Jack and the cat were looking at them with disbelief. Charlie came back from the mouth of death. And this is where part 1 of this story ends. But the real mystery hasn't started yet. Because Charlie will tell such a scary truth in the jungle that everyone will freeze to death. If you want to know the next part, let us know in the comments whether part 2 is appropriate or not. See you in the next video.